Good evening, everybody. My name is Karen Bateson, and I am lucky enough to be here with you this evening on this Wellness Wednesday. And before I present and introduce our main speaker for this evening, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am 53 years old, and I am the mother of two and the Gigi of one. And Rory is just the light of my life. But also, I've been married to my husband Kent for 30 years. We just did a really fun trip to celebrate, and because we were just due an adventure after all of this time together. And so I am just so lucky to be here, because you know what? Old is the goal. And I want to get old, but I don't want to be old. I want to be the Gigi that takes my granddaughter to Europe, and I don't just give her money to do so. I want to be that Gigi that's on the floor with I'm still able to get up when I'm done. And I got to tell you that the power of food is something that's been a big part of my story, because when Rory's dad, who's now 25, was 8 years old, we switched his diet and controlled his ADHD strictly with food for 4 years without medication. We're very proud of that. And so that just showed me the power of food. So that's what we're going to introduce to you a little bit this evening. Well, quite a bit this evening. And so with that, I would really like to introduce you to Dr. Brett Rosman, and he is here. I am in North Carolina, as is he. So North Carolina is kind of rolling the roost this evening. And so Dr. Brett was a in 1984 became a chiropractor, but for the last 30 years he has served families as a PA. And what he's going to really share with you this evening is a lot of information, but especially what how these products has really helped him personally on his health journey. And so with that, I would really like to explain a little bit real quick that as you're listening this evening, I really want to invite you to listen to how you can help you be proactive with your health, but also how you can maybe help the people around you. But keep in mind that as you were invited this evening, to know that you can either get these products at retail prices or wholesale prices. And to get those wholesale prices, we want you to listen as the evening goes on, maybe make a note of what's going to serve you the best, but then also get back to the person who invited you this evening and make sure that you're getting the best pricing that's right for you in the best way. So with that, I would really truly like to introduce you to Dr. Brett Rosman, and so he can guide us and begin this journey of proactive wellness that we're on this evening. Dr. Brett?
Thank you very much.
They're on vacation.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Yes, I am a chiropractor and a family practice physician assistant. I've been a physician assistant for 30 years now. Unfortunately, my chiropractic career was ended by an over 100-mile-an-hour head-on collision motor vehicle accident. Due to my injuries, it necessitated a change of careers. It also necessitated my delving into a more natural way of taking care of my injuries. I was tired of living on narcotic pain medication and nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory medication. So I was introduced to some natural products that have completely changed my life and that of my family. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that none of these products are specifically to treat, cure, or mitigate any specific disease processes. You will hear testimonies from people that utilize these products for different ailments or what have you. But these results are not meant to be generalized across the board. However, you can have a choice of utilizing something that's plant-based and natural, or something that is synthetic and more likely to have side effects. The general health care, as everybody knows it, has generally been reactive, which means we wait till we get sick and then we look for something to get us better instead of being proactive, and that is strengthening our body's natural defense system and prevent ourselves from getting ill in the first place. That being said, we will go ahead and get into our different products. Now, I will also preface it by saying this, that unfortunately, the foods that we used to eat 50, 75, 100 years ago that were grown in soil that were rich in trace minerals, that were rich in different vitamins, are no longer there. It's been shown that our soils are depleted by as much as 75% of the nutrients and minerals. And if it's not in the soil, then it's not getting into the plants that we're eating. And then it doesn't matter how well we eat. We may be eating healthier or better than some others, but we all will more than likely be nutrient depleted in multiple nutrients. So that being said, I will say let's get on with our first product.
Excellent.
The first product that we're going to go into is a product called Vitalité. Now, this is what we consider base nutrition that everybody should be on, as this helps just about every system in the human body. This is a whole food product. It has essential amino acids and essential fatty acids that the body recognizes as natural, and therefore it accepts it in without trying to defend against them. There's trace minerals, there are probiotics and prebiotics. There's 16 amino acids. It's a 10-berry blend. There are digestive enzymes. There are 10 phytonutrients. It's superfoods rich in chlorophyll. And there are also omega fish oils. Now, these omega fish oils are not just omega-3s, which everybody is familiar with. This is omega-3, 6, 7, and 9. So it hits everywhere within the body. This helps the gut lining and it helps the microbiome of the gut. And it's been shown that the microbiome houses about 80% of the body's natural defense system. This promotes heart health, brain health, and eye health. And it also helps cellular energy. So it helps the powerhouse energy producer of the body, which are the mitochondria. Now, standard supplements are generally absorbed to the tune of 8 to 10%, which is not very much. So most people that go out and they buy their, whether it's Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, GNC, they basically have very expensive urine. These supplements, in case of the Vitalité, has been shown to have a 44% absorption rate. Now, what sets our supplements apart from those others that are out there? Well, these are third-party tested. There's an absorption study done on it that's third party, that's not from the company. And there is an epigenetic study done on it. Now, when it comes to epigenetics, we used to think that the genetics are what they are and there's no way to alter them. Well, studies have now been done and they've shown that that's not true, that we can alter some genetic markers. And when it comes to the Vitalité, there's two real big markers that are affected. The first one, most people have heard of, and that's with the biggest craze for diabetics and for weight loss, and that are the GLP-1s. Well, what's out there are synthetic GLP-1s. Well, the Vitalité upregulates, which means it increases the body's natural GLP-1 by 345%. Again, that's natural, so it avoids a lot of the side effects of the injectables. This also has an 840% upregulated regulation on the BDNF, which is the brain-derived neurotropic factor. So it helps increase the brain's synapses and helps increase with some memory. I will go ahead, and I believe we have a real good testimony on this.
We do, and I know that BDNF is working for me because I remember what I'm walking into a room for when I take my Vitalité. But Kurtis, will you give us that testimonial, please?
Sure. Hey, everybody. It's Kurtis Thornton. I'm from Post Falls, Idaho. I try to eat a very healthy lifestyle. I try to lead one and eat healthy. And I know I eat very clean, but I'll be the first to admit that I don't eat all of the, vegetables and leafy greens and such that I should. And just taking Vitalité every morning, not only does it give you a little bit of energy, but it also makes sure that you're getting your full daily allowance of vitamins and minerals, and just like eating all your leafy greens you're supposed to every day. So just a great product. I know I am a diabetic, and I take all these products every day that you're going to hear about tonight. And I do find that it definitely helps me control my blood sugar levels, and I've had some really great results with that. So just can't say enough about the Vitalité.
Thank you very much for that testimony, Kurtis. Again, I will say that these testimonies that you're hearing when specific disease processes are mentioned, these products are not meant to specifically cure, treat, or mitigate any specific disease process. Now, we'll go on to our next fantastic product, and that is, go ahead, Karen, did you have something?
Yes, before we do that, I know that our beauty comes from the inside, but we also like to take care of our outside beauty. And so we do have, just very quickly touching on our product line, that is our Visage. We have our cleanser, there's a toner, and then our super serum, which is the first in the world neuro cosmetic, makes you feel good and look good, and of course our moisturizer as well. So we love to take care of the outside, but then Dr. Brett, the Collagéne, that regenerator, that is our next product.
Okay, now what sets our Collagéne apart from other collagen supplements out there? Well, most collagen supplements that are out there are basically bovine, which is not a very readily absorbed collagen. Collagen is a very large molecule and therefore difficult to get into the body. Our collagen is hydrolyzed and micronized, so it's brought down to extremely small particles. It is liposomal delivered, which means it is wrapped basically in a fat bubble, which helps protect it from the digestive enzymes of the body. It helps it pass through the digestive system, and the cell walls, which is where we want it to get to, are made up of fats. So the liposome, being a fat, is recognized as friendly. It attaches to the cell walls. The cell walls open up. and the collagen is deposited directly into the cells. The collagen also has hydrolyzed keratin as well as biotin, which is very helpful for the hair, skin, nails, and joints. It has hyaluronic acid, which is great for the joints. It has pomegranate to stimulate the body's own collagen production. And that's something that's very big because unfortunately our collagen production tails off at a fairly young age, well before we would like it to. The other thing is this collagen product has 5 grams of fish-based collagen, which is one of the most, if not the most, highly absorbable type of collagen. And we take it for 10 days on, so we do 1 packet a day for 10 days, and then we stop for 20 days to give our bodies an opportunity to produce its own. If we keep the collagen level up at such a high level, the body has no need to produce its own collagen, and therefore it'll basically just shut it off. And that's not what we're looking for. Now, this product has a 73% absorption rate, which means it's more than 7 times standard absorption. Now, as far as an epigenetic study being done, this has a 570% upregulation of that brain-derived neurotropic factor. So again, this is another product that's helping our memory and our thought process. It also has a 117% increase in what's known as the P-para, which is the energy production and supports human health. I believe, and this also helps support the body's normal fascia. And the fascia is basically a supportive structure of the entire body, of the joints, of the bones, of the blood cells. So when the fascia breaks down, that's when you start getting easy bruising. That's when you start getting joint issues. You get less mobility. And Karen, I believe we've got another good testimony.
We do. We have a great testimonial from our great up north, and that's Val.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Val Cedar, and I'm from Northern Alberta. We're enjoying nice weather here today, and just the harvest is going on, and everything's moving right along. Now, when I started using these products, I was using the product Revíve, which you're going to hear about, and it was helping me with some pain and that. But all of a sudden, the collagen came along, and I remember kind of debating, do I, don't I? There's the extra cost and things like that. But I finally came to the position of saying, you know what? My body and my health is worth it. And I started taking both and with some of the other products as well. And I have found that it has really, really helped with my skin, my nails, but most of all, even my hair. I'm 73 years old. But going on strong. And I thought the main reason I wanted to get on it, though, was for joints. About almost 23, 24 years ago, when I was 50, I decided to take on a challenge, and I went skydiving. First time, and by myself, not tandem. And unfortunately, when I got to the ground, I landed on my feet and went down hard on my knees, and ended up breaking my left femur. Fortunately, it wasn't a real painful experience, and so I was able to manage, and of course had an ambulance ride to the hospital and got fixed up. I have a pin in my femur, and my knee, which I really whacked hard, actually surprised me by lasting as long as it did. And then lately, like in the last number of years, it was starting to bother me. But since I've been on the collagen, the pain that was there daily is not. I do feel a lot better. My joint moves better. I do still have some pain because I think I really did some damage in there, and that will probably have to be taken care of somewhere down the road. But in the meantime, I'm taking the collagen and the Revive, and I'm managing to keep doing the things I like to do. Maybe a little slower than I did 20 some years ago, but I'm still doing things, and just love the products. And I have felt like my skin too has really been doing well, especially using our facial line as well with the collagen, and everything is looking a lot better. I like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Val, for that testimony. And we'll go ahead and go on to our next fantastic product, which is one of my favorites. So go ahead, Karen. You're holding up the container.
I am. Our Revive, we like to call these the magic beans, and it's the restorer. Inflammation can cause so many diseases, including cancer and autoimmune disease and so many different things. And so keeping that inflammation down in a natural way is just so important. And so the science behind that is with you, Dr. Brett.
Thank you very much. Now, like I said, the Revive is my main go-to. Again, because of my injuries, I was used to living for quite a while at a baseline pain level of a 7, and then it went off the scale from there. And thanks to this Revive product, amongst some of the others, my baseline pain level is down at about a 2 or 3. So when somebody asks me if I'm in pain, I literally have to stop and say, oh, there it is. Because when you're used to living at a very high pain level and you're down where I'm currently down at, that's no pain. And I'll take that any day of the week. Again, I'm not making a claim that this is curing anything, nor that it's going to have the same effect for everybody. But I know what it's done for me. I know what it's done for the people that have gotten the product from me. I know what it's done for friends and family members. That being said, one of the main components of the Revive is liposomal delivered curcumin and turmeric. Now, these are normally very poorly absorbed molecules, and the only way to get them into the system at a sufficient level for it to have any effect is by having a liposomal delivered product. Now, along with the curcumin and turmeric, this product has boswellia, which helps stiffness and muscles. It has black cumin seed oil. It has shiitake mushroom. It has sea buckthorn. It has acai fruit extract, grape seed extract, sea buckthorn fruit oil, and piperine and menthol, which are also fantastic for helping inflammation and pain. There is also ginger, which helps absorb the curcumin. Now, this product is great for post-recovery. So for people that are very active or work out, this is a phenomenal product. Absorption study on this shows a 30% absorption rate, which is more than 3 times standard absorption. This also helps decrease inflammation within the body. It lowers stress in the body, and again helps support the mitochondria, which is the energy powerhouse of the body. This helps maintain a healthy inflammatory response, promotes exercise recovery, and it helps counteract the effects of free radicals. This can also, get ready for this, increase GLP-1, your body's own GLP-1, by 293%. So if you go ahead and combine this with our Vitalité, you have almost a 700% increase in GLP-1. This also increases the brain derived neurotropic factor, and it has a 123% down regulation of the inflammatory marker. So remember, when it comes to inflammation, we want as little as possible. So we want less of it, not more of it. So the negative effect is what we're looking for. And I believe we have a great testimony on this.
We do have a great testimony on this. Miss Renee out in Colorado. Take it away.
Well, thank you very much for having me give my testimony about this product. I have actually two of them. I've had two really good experiences. Other than if I have a headache, I take the Revíve instead of any other kind of like Tylenol or anything like that. But I have had a pain in my heel for the last 3 months, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to double up. So I took 4 of the Revíve in the morning, and then I took 3 in mid-morning about noon after lunch, and then I took 3 more before I went to bed. And I've done this now for 3 days. The pain's not totally gone, but it has diminished a lot. So that has helped me immensely, especially since I have to go chasing animals out in the field. But another time I was out I was taking care of some friends' horses, and it's in the winter time. And so I was out trying to, pick up manure and push wheelbarrows full of doo-doo. And it was hard. And my back, I'd been out there already for about 2 hours, and I thought, there's no way I'm going to get this done. I can't. I went in and I took 4 of the Revíve, and about an hour later, it was like, hi, I feel great. So I went out, finished my job, and took care of the animals. And I tell you, this stuff is amazing. It's just wonderful. I love it. I'm never going to run out of it ever again. But thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Renee. And you brought up a very good point, that I don't know very many people that would take a prescription medication that says take 1 twice a day and turn around and take 4 twice a day. Our products being plant-based and natural, I'm not going to say, because there are certain circumstances that it can be an issue, I'm not going to say it's impossible to ever become toxic on our product, but it is extremely difficult. And just about every one of our products, you can be pretty comfortable in taking some extra when you feel like you need it, without the worry that there's going to be some ill toward side effects from doing so. That being said, I'll go ahead and go on to our next product, and it falls right into place because this product is called Purifí, and within its name, it does just that. It helps purify and get rid of toxicities and mainly heavy metals from our body. Now, heavy metals accumulating within the body prevent the body from absorbing and from producing proteins and having them work. Now, most people who look to detoxify basically go on straight water and they go on a fast. Now, that's all well and good. It'll help stop any further impurities, but it's not going to get rid of the impurities that have deposited themselves within the tissues of our body. You have to have some mechanism for getting them released from the organ systems of the body and carrying them out. Now, the Purify helps support all 5 elimination organs of the body, those being the liver, the lungs, the kidneys, the colon, and your largest organ system of the body being the skin. Now, most people say, well, when they detoxify the colon, they're afraid to do so because you can't leave the house. This is not a explosive type of detoxification. It is a gentle, gradual detoxification. So you don't have to be concerned that you take it in the morning and you're going to be living close to your bathroom, because if you don't, there's going to be problems. Now, these are, as Karen just showed, these are a green capsule, and they're green because the capsules are chlorophyllin, and the capsules themselves, being made of chlorophyll, are one of the main detoxifiers of the heavy metals. This also has fulvic acid. It has liposomal delivered milk thistle, which is good for detoxification of the liver. And milk thistle is another very poorly absorbed molecule. So unless there's an advanced delivery system, you're wasting your money. There are herbs to help cleanse the kidneys. There's kelp and apple pectin to help cleanse the colon. There's coriander leaf and dandelion root, which help increase nutrient absorption. And it also helps support a healthy weight. And this, under an absorption study, has been shown to have an 88% absorption rate, which is almost 9 times standard absorption. This also helps increase the function of the mitochondria, which again is the energy producer of the body. And this is another product that I really enjoy and like. So we will go on to our next testimonial.
Real quick, as we mentioned some prescription medication, I just wanted to mention also that when you go to your doctor and he mentions a prescription medication, you can ask him to look up all of our products, minus one that's new, in the PDR, the Physician's Digital Reference. This is by definition a reference manual, if you will, for prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, and medical devices. And so you'll notice that nutraceuticals are not mentioned in that definition because we're the only company that has all of our products, minus that new one, in the PDR. So if your physician mentions, say, an anti-inflammatory, you can have them look up Revíve in that PDR and see what they think about that. So that being said, our next testimonial on that Purify is with my friend also in the Great White North, Lindsey.
Hey, Lindsey from Alberta. Sorry, I got kids and dogs in the background. I love the Purify. I actually was thinking about this for my whole family. in a lot of different ways. Really see the difference in how it helps us with what we need. So couple of us, me, my daughter, my son, we do have hard time going to the bathroom, so we do use that, the Purify. And my little guy, youngest, is 8, and I give him one every other day. It's totally safe and gentle. It's been gentle for him, but just keeping the bloating feeling, the sore tummy symptom stuff away from him. And my daughter's 13 and me being an adult, but it all helps us kind of really just have those regular movements. And it is totally gentle. And I have taken detoxes and purify things that they do make you run to the bathroom, and it's not nice. My husband, though, he never has a problem going to the bathroom, and I asked him to actually, though, to double up on the Purify to try it, because for 3 years he struggled with a skin problem. He got bit by a cat, actually, and it just totally gave him this rash, itchy, really sore, red, that would not go away with any antibiotics or any creams that he would get from the doctor. Just was not helping. And so I'm like, try doubling up the Purify. So he's taking 2 at night. Not one complaint from him that he's ran to the bathroom from this doubling up. And he's a guy who doesn't have an issue with this. But after a couple weeks, I noticed he wasn't scratching, he wasn't putting the creams on. And I'm like, hey, how's your arms doing? How's your legs? So we have not seen a rash on his arms since. And yeah, I totally credit the Purify for helping with cleaning out the skin with him. And also even my daughter, who's had some really bad acne on her back issues, and same thing, was like, whoa, this is going away, Emily. And it had totally credit the Purify, because there's nothing else. We're not putting anything else on it. So yeah, and I know one last thing quick is, we have totally seen with the Purify, it's helped us at certain times a year clean out our lungs really well, me and my younger son especially. So definitely love it. It's totally safe and gentle, and just really seems to target where you need it, which I really like that.
Amazing.
Thank you very much, Lindsay, for that. And I'm going to go in because you brought up something that needs to be said, as did Karen, and that is, all of these products are in the PDR. We are not the only non-pharmaceutical or nutraceutical company that has their products, or at least one, maybe 2 products within the PDR. But being on the pharmaceutical side for 30 years, and having the prescriptive power of the pen, we do not recommend anybody that is on a prescription medication just blanket go ahead and stop their medications. They should be speaking with their doctors, and letting them know if they have the intent on stopping a prescription medication. Like I said, these are plant-based, so there's little to no chance of overdosing on these. And basically, if your doctor has not given you specific orders to avoid any specific plant, then there's no reason why you cannot take our products. And if you go to your doctor and you tell your doctor, hey, I'm considering trying this product. Can you do me a favor? Can you take a look at it and let me know what you think? You can go look it up in the PDR. You can watch their eyes bug out, because the PDR, or physician's digital reference now, used to be desk reference, because it was a 4-inch thick ton of a book that sat on our desks. But that is not a reference that you can buy your way into. That again is third party. So to have our products in the digital reference is a huge ordeal. And like I said, most doctors, if we're lucky, we get 1, maybe 2 courses in non-pharmacology treatments. Any doctor that has a good working knowledge of non-pharmaceuticals has that knowledge because it interests them and they went out on their own and studied it. So generally speaking, when a patient goes to their doctor and says, hey, I'm thinking about taking this, can you take a look at this? Rather than take the time to investigate it, most doctors will just tell their patients, no, don't take it. Because it's just easier to tell them, don't take it, don't take a risk in interfering with something that they're trying to do with their medication, rather than try to investigate it. So don't just blanket stop any medication without speaking with your doctor. But definitely let them know that they can look in the PDR, in the digital reference, and take a look. All they have to do is go to the search bar, type in the company name, and they will go ahead and see every one of the products come up. Okay, that being said, we will go ahead and go on to our next product, another one that I really love, and most urgent care, most doctors may not, because it'll keep their patients healthy and decrease the number of visits to the doctor or urgent care or emergency room. This product is called Imúne, and is very apropos. Our bodies have 2 different types of immunity. It has what we call an innate immunity, which is what we're born with, and it has an adaptive immunity. And what that basically means is our bodies are subjected to different disease processes, different bacteria, different viruses. Our bodies fight them off, and then they remember those viruses and or bacteria and has an immunity to them. Now, this product has a 44% absorption rate, so it's almost 4.5 times the standard absorption. It has elderberry, it has vitamin D3, vitamin E, calcium, and aloe vera, as well as vitamin C and zinc. And it also has liposomal delivered quercetin. Now, that is again a very big factor. The quercetin helps block the bacteria and the viruses from talking to each other. Viruses and bacteria that are isolated from each other cannot replicate, which means it knocks them out. On the adaptive side of immunity, this has trace minerals, it has adaptogens, it has vitamin A and selenium, which the selenium is very important for white blood cell production. And this helps the immune system within the gut. And again, 80% of our immune system is within the gut. This enhances the gut microbiome and it helps support the immune response. Now, Karen, I believe we've got another great testimony.
We do. We have Whitney.
Hi, my name is Whitney, and I'm from Alberta, Canada. And I love Imúne. I was didn't know about it, and I got really sick, and for 3 weeks. It's 6 weeks later, I still just struggling every day, just no energy and all that. So I was looking for something to support my immune system, and I had, before that sickness, had been on antibiotic round also. So I really just wanted my guts to get better and just not get sick as often. And a friend invited me over and showed me Imúne, and I started taking that, and it's really helped. And now when I feel something coming on, I will sometimes even triple the dose, 3 in the morning, 3 at noon, and 3 in the evening, and it just shortens that. I got a sore throat coming on, and it just seems to help so much. And even with my sons in winter, they got sick, sore throat, started getting spots, took him to Emerge for a swab weekend, and you have to wait 2 days for the results. But when we got home, there was a snowstorm coming. We were snowed in for 4 days. 4 drivers broken on the vehicle. Hubs was gone with the trucks. We were stuck at home. And my other son, he's sore throat, started getting worse. The youngest, he's 7. He can swallow pills. I started giving him Imúne, and he right away started feeling better. The spots in his throat were going away. He was eating and drinking fine. My other son was older, does not swallow, wouldn't take it. It's getting worse. And after 1 dose we mixed it in spaghetti sauce for him, and then he took it down, and he was not eating, like spaghetti sauce he could, but he was not eating, and it was hurting so bad. And then it was just so wonderful. The next day he was eating again, and it's just been so great to have that on hand, because we were homebound. And then my nephew, who's 12, when he started school, 3 days, he's got sick. He's got a head cold. He had the headaches, and he was coughing, and he stayed home. And so I gave him 3 of the Imúne and 1 of the Revíve. Half hour later, I said, "How you feeling?" So, "Oh, I don't have a headache anymore." I was like, "Oh, there we go. That's wonderful." And the next morning, he talked to his mom. She's like, "Oh, he's back on the bus. He's feeling better. He's doing great." So it's just so nice to have something that's all together, because I've done all sorts of teas and all that, and it's just nice that it's 1 little pill or 2 that you take, and it just helps. I love it.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And I will digress a little bit because you just brought up talking about your kids. Now, for whether it's a child or whether it's an adult who has difficulty swallowing, especially a bigger capsule, all of our encapsulated products, you can open up the capsules and either dump it in yogurt, put it in spaghetti sauce, or put it in whatever, mix it out, and they can take it that way. It will not make it any less effective by doing that. So that is a really great thing that can be done. Now we'll go on to our next fantastic product called Éternal. Now this product comes in a, as Lori likes to say, a little sachet. A lot of people take it and they put it in the refrigerator because it tastes great cold. Kids love it for its taste. People make shakes out of it. People use it as a topping for ice cream. but this is probably our highest absorbed product at 95%. So not too far away from 100% absorption. Now, this has liposomal delivered glutathione. Now, glutathione is one of the, if not the most powerful antioxidants within the body. It is a large, very poorly absorbed molecule. And unfortunately, the body stops making it at a fairly young age. However, the body can be stimulated to increase its production. Now, this also has 3 times the absorption of coenzyme Q10, which is a very powerful and highly necessary coenzyme within the body that's required for a significant number of processes that's required for us to go on living. Now, when it comes to glutathione, there's not a whole lot of ways of getting this into the body. And one of the ways people do to get it into their body at any kind of a significant level is from IV glutathione. And it's not cheap. It's $120 to $150 to get the glutathione at a high level. Well, you can just take our little sachet packet and you can get a high level of glutathione. Now, this Éternal helps protect and support the cells from damage and premature aging. It promotes cellular health and longevity. It delivers powerful phytonutrients to protect against UV damage. It also helps prevent insulin spikes and helps decrease heavy metals. It helps support the mitochondria. It helps destroy free radicals. And it's the glutathione is the primary antioxidant of the body. There are 10 superfoods within the Éternal and superfruits, and there's 200 milligrams of resveratrol. And with this resveratrol, you can get it in red wine or in red grapes. But in order to get the quantity of resveratrol that is in this Éternal, you will need to drink a significant quantity, upwards of 200 glasses of red wine. And I don't know whether I would recommend that you get behind the wheel of the car or you try to do much of anything after drinking 200 glasses of red wine. In addition, there are 1.6 grams of collagen. And again, this is marine collagen. Now, there's an epigenetic study that's been done on our Éternal, and this shows a 380% increase in the P power again, which helps produce ATP or energy from the mitochondria. There's a 1,250% decrease in the IL-6 inflammatory marker. That is absolutely huge. So it helps the inflammatory response. And there is also a decrease by 345% of the marker that's called NF-κB, which is another inflammatory marker. So I will say, let's go ahead to our next testimony.
Absolutely. Paul, we'd love to hear from you about Éternal. You are muted, Paul. Please unmute.
I'm from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. And what I like best about the Éternal is, like Dr. Brett said, three things that come to mind. For me, anyways, help support heart health, with which heart health is important part of my life because there's issues in my family. And another one is anti-aging. I like having clear skin at the age of 56, trying to get younger, not older. And the third and last is it helps with the immune supporting of the system. And what I like best about the Éternal is 2 sachets, one in the morning chilled, probably around 10 o'clock there, right at break, and then one about 4 o'clock when I come home just before I have supper. And that's how it goes down, and that's the best. So, and the products are awesome.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Paul. And now we will go ahead and go on to our final fantastic product. And that is our newest product. And unfortunately, it's too new to be in the digital reference, but I would not be surprised if that is forthcoming soon. But this Kynetik is natural energy. It is healthy energy. It has 200 milligrams of natural plant-based caffeine. It comes from green tea extract. Now, green tea is generally grown in salt water, and the salt water can give you high levels of fluoride, and high levels of fluoride are not good. So the Kynetik extracts the green tea caffeine without the ill effects of the fluoride. You get a slow absorption of the caffeine, so it helps prevent the normal crash from the caffeine. There are essential B vitamin complex, which is B1, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, and B12. And the B12 is methylated B12. It is not cyanocobalamin, which is more of a synthetic B12 and not very well absorbed. This helps support brain function, energy metabolism, and overall vitality. There is also L-theanine in this, and it has an electrolyte blend of calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Now, what it doesn't have is sucralose, sugar, aspartame, and taurine. Taurine is a substance that is in most energy drinks. It used to be touted as a big healthy plus. However, recently there are studies done that have shown the taurine has been linked.
Oh, I don't know what happened. I think we lost Dr. Brett. So for right now, we are going to go over to our testimonial, and we'll throw Luke in the middle and see if Dr. Brett has something at the end. Luke, do you have a testimonial on Kynetik?
Yeah, right here. Good evening, everybody. My name's Luke, zooming in from Post Falls, Idaho. So I've had the opportunity to use Kynetik since its official launch back in June. And hands down, I'd probably say this is probably one of the cleanest energy drinks that I've had. I crash off a lot of them, C4s, Monsters, Ghosts. I'm big on pre-workout. I've used the big stem junkie pre-workouts, 400 to 500 milligrams of caffeine. And I would say as far as consistent clean energy, this has probably been hands down the best one so far. It's a really great pick me up in the afternoon. That's probably the one time that I utilize this the most, kind of get you through the end of the day. If you are kind of sensitive into caffeine or you want to take it at a later time, one of the best things about these packets too, pinch it in half, do a half dose. That way you can kind of go ahead and get half as far as with the caffeine. I've done it to where just straight pouring it into my mouth, wish it down with some water, you're good to go. Or if you want to mix it up with some water, you can dilute it to your own tasting. I kind of like the punch in the face with about 5 to 6 ounces of water. You're going to get the full flavor of it. If you want it a little bit more lighter, I'd say anywhere from about 12 to 14 ounces of water. A great thing about it, some of the stuff, you'll get really good euphoric feelings off of it. And I think that's some of the supplements that are actually added into this product. So it's really good. You could probably feel it within about the first 10 to 15 minutes. It starts creeping up on you and it hits you right in the face. So it's actually really good. Overall, hands down, probably one of the best ones. So if you know anybody that's kind of a little bit more sensitive to caffeine as well, it's not synthetic like a lot of your energy drinks where people will get the jitters. So definitely, it's a little bit more of a clean, I like to call it cruise control. It's kind of like what you feel like when you are on it. And like I mentioned, pinch the packet in half if you're a little bit concerned as far as with the caffeine content and kind of take it from there.
Perfect. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
I'm back, Karen. Unfortunately, my laptop died.
Ah, gotcha. Do you have anything to add on that, Kynetik?
Yes, absolutely. As I was saying, this helped with the natural electrolytes. It helps your body absorb fluids more effectively. It helps maintain cellular communication and allows you to stay energized. This has great polyphenols and rosavins from rhodiola for brain support. It has a positive effect to fight adrenal fatigue. It helps with instant hydration, like our testimony said. This kicks in 10 to 15 minutes. It has clean energy and brain support. It helps the circadian rhythm balance. And no crash from this. I will say, as far as the quantity of water that is recommended for this, it says 8 to 10 ounces. Now, this is a pretty strong cherry burst, cherry rush flavor. Personally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of cherry, so I tend to put it in a little more water to dilute it out. But I'm capable of drinking it down fairly quickly as if it was an 8 to 10 ounce bottle of water. But it is great as a pre-workout, and it is great just to get you that get up and go. Perfect example for me is, unfortunately, I was at the pediatric emergency room with my nephew last night until 2 o'clock in the morning. By the time I got home and got to sleep, it was almost 3:30, and I was up at 6 o'clock to get ready for work. And I just downed a packet of the Kynetik, and in 15 minutes, I was ready to go, and I'm still going. So we're doing pretty darn good.
Excellent. So,
And I think that about covers our line.
yes, it does. Dr. Brett, thank you so much for your insight, your knowledge, and your education, because as I like to say, that I'm knowledgeable, but you're educated. And that is just what's so important about us being a team. And mentioning a team, now that you've learned all that we have to offer, wouldn't it be awesome to not only be able to have these products, but get them for free? And so there is a side of this that is a business opportunity, because we all share. We share restaurants, we share books, we share you know, the cars that we drive, the shoes, that where we got our shoes, we all share. It's just social selling, social sharing. And so with that, when you look better, you feel better because you're taking these products, we want to share them. And so what about a side gig? What about maybe covering your products, or maybe even a car payment and then working your way up? So tomorrow night, at the same time, same place, but a little bit abbreviated an experience, we're going to talk about the business side of this, because we would love to have you part of our community of feeling better, looking better, and just sharing. Because why not proactive wellness? Why not getting away from that reactive wellness and working our way towards feeling better, looking better, and feeling younger as we get older? Because isn't that the goal? So that is what we are going to do tomorrow evening. So get back to the person that invited you this evening, because they will share with you how to get these products at retail or wholesale over retail, but also maybe how to share them. And there is a man sharing tomorrow evening who has been extremely successful in this industry, who's going to share his knowledge and hope and experience with us on how to maybe do that with you as well. So thank you. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being available. And thank you for joining us, because we are a very passionate group and we'd love to share, and we're loving that you came to join us this evening. So with that being said, thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Dr. Brett.
You're welcome. Good night, everyone.
Good
Thank
night.